right. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everyone, depending on where you are. Uh, we are now about midway in the IMS session, and it's been a great morning so far. We are still awaiting our third panelist, but before he joins in, let me introduce. Let me introduce those who are present over here. We have with us our very own Sonia Parashar. Besides being the managing director of Nuremberg Messe India, she's here in her capacity as the president of the Indian Exhibition Industry Association. And my old friend Guido Fornelli, who is our partner in Italy, managing director of Expotrans, but here in his capacity as chairman of the International Exhibition Logistics Association, and trying to join in is going to be Dr. Vincent Lim, who was the past president of M.I.C.E, and today he's the president of AFICA, which is, as you all know, the Asian Federation of Exhibition and Conference Associations. All three associations are personally very, very close to my heart. I've been involved with all three of them for years, and we want to get into the insights of the associations from past to present, and we're going to unlock some association legacies, but at the same time, we're going to take advantage of these lovely minds meeting to see what we've learned, what we are going through, and what we can share over here to see how we will look at the future. So let's have a relaxed discussion, chat, talk, whatever. I want to go to Sonia. Sonia, can you take us briefly through to the Indian Exhibition Industry Association's history from inception to pre-pandemic? It's a 15-year-old story, but condense it to where we were pre-pandemic.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sethi. You mentioned all the three associations are close to your heart. I would say you are close to our heart as well, number one. And number two, the entire exhibition industry, this people business is also very close to our heart. So happy to see Vincent as well. So when you ask me to give you the history of the Indian Exhibition Industry Association, first of all, I would say I'm still a young player. The veterans are you, and the veterans are the ones who founded this association about 15 years back. So first of all, it's a matter of immense pleasure and pride that the Indian Exhibition Industry Association is celebrating its 15th anniversary this year. And I can only say that these 15 years have been very eventful years, which have seen the association actually go from strength to strength and evolve as one of the most prominent and decisive platform for the Indian exhibition industry. And over these 15 years, I would say I have to thank all my predecessors who've been the past presidents and also the founders of this association, who actually were very passionate, enthusiasts about the exhibition business, and who said, okay, let's all bring some structure to this industry. I wouldn't say that exhibitions did not exist in India. Of course, we have exhibitions which are 50 years old and 55 years old. Of course, I can still compete with Germany, which has 100-year-old shows as well. But I would say exhibitions in India are kind of as old as our independence, like we're celebrating. This is also our 75th year of independence. India is celebrating happily and proudly. So 15 years, I would say we were kind of on a bit of high, because the infrastructure was developing in this country, new venues were coming up, and at least there was a vision, and there was a belief that exhibitions propel economy. There was a belief that exhibitions revive economies. So 15 years, we worked hard, first of all, to be recognized as an important tool in the eyes of all stakeholders who mattered the most, whether it was the government, whether it was associations, whether it was normal layman, or whether it was the hospitality industry, tourism industry. We kind of, worked hard to basically present ourselves as the most important tool to work very closely with also the tourism industry to to basically encourage business tourism. And of course, with the individual state governments. India is a large country. We also had to work with individual state governments as well to realize the importance of the exhibitions. So I would say 15 years, inception, 15 years have flown by. And I remember my last exhibition was on the 3rd of March 2020. I flew out of Bangalore after finishing a show in Bangalore with 75,000 visitors, so over 5 days. And I was on a completely different high. I mean, the sky was the limit, and of course there was no limit. So I was very enthusiastic, and then came pandemic. So basically, the pandemic came to make us pause. All these enthusiasts, as we all are, always said we don't have time. We are so busy with all this trade for business. And came the pandemic, guys, you asked for time, so you have time. Now you have time to basically pause, to reassess, to reanalyze, to reboot, and to think of future strategies. So I would say it's only ushering into a new era where I see it as very, very positively. And I have immense hope. Reason being because it has only strengthened the fact that you cannot survive without this face-to-face business. So I would say IEIA, Indian Exhibition Industry Association, me being the president for the last few months, and of course working very closely with my fellow EC gentlemen,
All of them.
all of them, very nice gentlemen, and we're working together to make sure that this momentum, this belief, and also the untapped potential is basically unleashed over the coming years. And especially when it comes to India. I mean, whenever I have international delegations, especially from Germany, and they say, hey, what can we do? And I said, do not compare it with China, which is, of course, our immediate natural, neighbor, and always a comparison, which is mostly done. You cannot cut, copy, paste what you achieved in China. Reasoning China is at another level. They've really achieved very, very well in the last few years. But India is still on a growth journey. There's a huge untapped potential. And more important, there's a lot to do. And if you are part of this story of a lot to do, if you're part of this so-called growth story, you already have a business. With 1.3 billion people and very soon 1.4 billion people. Wow. I mean, even if you were to cater to 5% of the growth potential business opportunities, you already have an opportunity. Yeah. So, as IEIA will only bear the flag of India always high, and would very closely work with all the international association and friends like Guido or Vincent to say, how can we collaborate to, first of all, make our exhibition industry globally stronger, and two, how do we find cross-borders synergies? How can we work together? So that's all as my opening remarks.
Right. Sonia, I was hearing, thank you so much. I was hearing your opening remarks this morning, and you mentioned about the buzz has begun. And, face-to-face is unmatched. And what you are doing there, during the pandemic and what you're planning to, but I'll come back to that later, the things which are close to your heart. But, what I really like is that when we're talking about the history, so for 15 years, we had these gentlemen who were brought this association, which had 7 members to start with, and today we've grown phenomenally. And then we go through the worst period of our lives. And then when it comes to the real recovery, the gentleman said, no, I think we need a lady to take us to the next level. It speaks a lot about the association also, that we are it's not a question about gender. It's a question about teamwork, and true IEIA in the past and even present does work very closely with the other associations, and two of the gentlemen are here. Thank you. Vincent, you were having some technical problems, and I was nice to see you, my friend.
Nice to see you, Ravi. So sorry. Some technical problem. Yeah.
It's all right. I had some problems. I had some problems. I called up my granddaughter, 8-year-old, and she sorted them out for me.
No, this is show that we are not. This is show that we are not pre-recording. It's a
no. This is live show. This is live. Yeah. Listen, we were talking about. We were going to go through some, some sharing, and Afika, which is close to my heart as well. You could take us briefly. I know you're now our president. Earlier, you've been a member for many years of Afika as being president of M.I.C.E, and you're a good friend of India. You visited us. You visited our open IIA open seminars. You work with us for IELA. We collaborate as well. So take us briefly, from the time when stalwarts like Dilys Young and Voltaire started this whole thing to where we are pre-pandemic.
Okay, thank you, Ravi. First of all, I apologize again for being a little bit delayed due to some technical issue. First of all, I would like to thank IEIA of Mr. Ravindran. I think invited me to be the panel together with the gentleman and Sonia for the IMS 2021. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm the current president of Afika. Just get elected somewhere end of last year during the pandemic. And my immediate past president, Mr. Walter Ye, give me a lot of advice and encouragement and how to drive this Afika during this pandemic situation. Just to give you all a short brief about Afika. Afika is one of the 4 global associations, one of the 4 global conference and exhibitions umbrella body alongside like UFI, IAEE, and ICA. Same thing, Afika started with 7 founding members organization in 2005. That's from China, Indonesia, Japan, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, and Taiwan. And today, after about 16 years of Afika, we have close to 150 members organization in cover 16 countries across the entire Asia. So I think that is a lot of hard work and commitment and support from the country association and all the good work, hard work from all the past board member and the president. And Afika is also the international umbrella association in Asia for mines industry and to serve 34 mines association across Asia. Based on our survey, from there also we have covered about 11,000 mines company across Asia under Afika. In fact, this is quite a big organization. And of course, it's not an easy task, but I think this is a good challenge, especially during the current situation, like what Sonia mentioned, that we see how the association can play a role to form a bridge or a platform to encourage close border collaboration, business collaboration, especially during the current situation. Also, a little bit of information of Afika. The Afika consists of 22 board members and 11 advisory council members that they are from Bureau of Foreign Trade, Ministry of Economic Affairs from Taiwan, and Taiwan External Trade Development Council, Taiwan, Hong Kong Tourism Board, Hong Kong Trade Development Council, Hong Kong HKTDC, Japan External Trade Organization, JETRO, Macau Government Tourism Office, MGTO, and Malaysia Convention and Exhibition Bureau, M.I.C.E, Philippine Tourism Promotion Board, TBP, and Singapore Tourism Board, STP, and Thailand Convention and Exhibition Bureau, TCEP, and Ho Chi Minh Department of Tourism. So basically, we have quite a strong advisory council member. Will sit on board together with all of us and to discuss and advise how that we can work together and promote the industry for the whole entire Asia market here. The objective of the AFICA basically is very straightforward. I believe you'll be very similar to with the rest of the trade association. It's also to promote the growth and the development of the exhibitions and convention industry in Asia or in your own respective country. So we are all at the same boat and we are all at the same region. So we got to see how this platform can make us to get a better collaboration. So we always believe 1 to 1 should be more than 2. That's where we can gain from the synergy here. Yeah, pass back to you, Ravi.
Yeah, thanks. I know I go by your opening remarks in the morning. You made a very nice statement. You said, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. So that's very appropriate that we are here. You brought us here. Guido, my dear friend.
Hi, good.
Chairman of AYL, the Logistics Association. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you again for your kind invitation, for the invitation EIA and the opportunity you gave me and to talk about our history of AYL. Our association is a little bit older than AFICA and EIA. We started actually in the early 80s. And the concept of two smart gentlemen, two smart businessmen that actually unfortunately passed away both recently, Steve Berry and Hans Brauchli, was to increase the standard of delivering, of shipping cargo for event, for exhibition. The market of exhibition was really in this year, for my understanding, becoming truly international and changing completely in terms of number of exhibition, specific requests from the clients and so on. So the idea was to create an endeavor for those who really care about the last mile in the logistic for the events. I mean, to create organization with a high standard of quality to give to the client a first-class service in order to receive the cargo and focus on the exhibition itself, not caring about all the difficulties behind shipping freight from one country to another. Also, AYL started with a few pioneers. The founder were 7 companies. Few of them are still existing. And the idea was more the idea to create a kind of network between specialists. But then things changed more and more because I think clearly for the founder was quite clear that it was not possible to remain small because they couldn't control the world market. So it would have been more interesting to have also competitor within the same organization. And in the early 90s, the association grew very much, becoming an association with almost 100 of different agents and members working, and even not working, but I mean talking together. And this is a concept that is coming back as very important today in this pandemic situation. So the initial structure, juridical structure of AYL, that was a cooperative of company with one vote for each member, changed and became a true no-profit association, open to everybody, eager to give his effort, his work to make our industry, our niche stronger and with, I would say, with the higher quality standard. We kept on growing until really the pandemic. I remember in Venice, that was our last congress before before this sanitary crisis. We had more than 170 members. AYL counted more than 170 members, 173 actually, and covering 50 over countries around the world, and was looking to grow up to 200, 220 members. So to even have a bigger coverage of the world, but keeping in mind a statement, I would say, a vision that was the vision of a beginner: quality before quantity. So the idea was to have only those companies or offices around the world of big multinational that were really working and are really working professionally on exhibition and not doing shipping, general shipping for 300 days per year and then taking care about only one exhibition. For this reason, I think AYL, beside looking for other members and growing the coverage of the world, I've been always hardly working to training, first of all. We have been developing a training course, I think in the early days with Sasios, if I remember well, Ravi.
Yes, that's right.
I'm wrong.
It's the first one was with Sasios, yeah.
And then independently. And on the other end, trying to fix and increase the standard of performance for our members, because the idea has always been to accept those who are interested in exhibition logistics, but also bring all of us towards a better standard, to take care of increasing. And for this, we have also developed awards along the years to monitor our performances and to keep on, as I said, trying to maintain the service for the client at the center of our initial idea. As you all said, then COVID came and the situation is dramatically changed. And I guess now we are in a very different situation, and in the last 2 years we have also worked a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to come to that in detail of what we did during the pandemic time. Yeah.
Okay. So yes.
Yeah. But something very interesting, Guido. I just realized that all three associations, they all started with seven founding members.
Yes, it's a magic number, apparently. It's a destiny. No.
It's a magic number. Yeah. Yes. Great. Thank you. I mean, as I said earlier, I wanted this to be a light session to start with, just to let our audience get a feel of our associations up to the time that we are today, and what Guido and Sonia were heading into. I will now take it now. Yes, pandemic has been a wake-up call in our lives in every aspect, and our businesses and in our associations. So what was it that we really did during this time for the industry? I know all three associations have done a lot, but let me hear it from the heads of these associations. Sonia, I know I sit with you on the EC. What all we've done, and we don't want to go into details, but what we learned. You know what I mean? The gist of it. and how we are moving forward, especially the two things which are close to your heart.
Okay, thank you. I think, first of all, during the last 15 to 18 months as associations, I think we had a great responsibility to shoulder in terms of keeping the morals of our industry up, because it was very crucial, because people thought, oh my god, like, are the exhibitions going to vanish from the scene? How are we going to survive, especially new aspirants, and also the new entrants into the industry who had a lot of hope and expectations from the industry were also sitting on the edge. Then, is it the right industry to enter? So I think, as association, and especially the Indian Exhibition Industry Association, we did a lot of interactions with our members. Of course, digitally and virtually, but also to see digitally and virtually this way, face to face, in whichever way it was possible, that we had series of sessions in talking about what is the new future, what is the new normal, is there a new normal, how can technology be complementing our physical exhibition. So there was a lot of pondering over, which we did along with our members via these various sessions which we did. And then we also analyzed that we have certain gaps, and how can we, first of all, gap mapping, and how can we basically work together to fill up those gaps. And especially in the last few months, we've realized that there are two important components which are going to be very important going forward, besides technology, which is there, part and parcel of our lives now, and also part and parcel of our exhibition so-called ecosystem, only to make the experience of the exhibitors and visitors more meaningful. But there were two important other aspects where we really needed to focus on. One was skilling. Of course, Guido also talked about training, and this was something which we realized that, of course, how do you upgrade the quality of the exhibition, the experience, and also the whole business atmosphere, or even the friendly atmosphere which we want to create? How do you prepare a whole holistic, wonderful ease of doing business experience while they come at exhibitions? So skilling is something which we've started for the last few months, and this is called the IEIA Task Force on Skilling and Training. Now, it is very cliche to say blue-collared and white-collared, but Guido, you mentioned network between specialists. So we are talking of creating specialists. We are already specialists, but until and unless we upgrade ourselves, upskill ourselves, and further train ourselves, whether it is blue collared or white collared, but everybody on the floor who is creating that experience for the exhibitors and visitors must be open to upgrade and upskill and retrain and train. So this process keeps on going on. So what we've done is, first of all, IEIA is not just exhibition organizers from India, but it is all stakeholders in the entire value chain, members of this association. Now, whether it is exhibition organizers, venues, partners in terms of freight forwarders, stand contractors, everybody is part of this whole ecosystem of the Indian Exhibition Industry Association. We've got about 250 members. In fact, we've got some young individuals as youth sparks who are also members, because we need that spark in the association as well. So skilling is an important topic where we've created some task force who's going to basically outlay what is our roadmap going to be in the next coming months and years. And skilling is something which is very important, and we are working towards it. Second important S, the third S is Sonia, while she's around. So I have the S skilling, and I have the S Sonia in between, and then I have S sustainability. And that is something which is going to be super important for us, because while we talk of climate protection, while we talk of green materials, while we talk of conservation, preservation, we talk of how do we keep our planet, our ecosystem sustainable, happy, green. Then we also have to look at our mindset, also working towards sustainability. So if we are skilled and we are sustainable, I think we are super happy. So that is something which we are going to work on. And these are two concepts, or not two concepts, but these are two important goals vis-a-vis the Indian Exhibition Industry Association. And my dream is that at least before I retire, not very soon, but at least to maybe, cut the ribbon or inaugurate an event where I walk in and say, hey, this is purely skilled and sustainable. This is something which I wanted to achieve as an Indian and a proud Indian, to create that wonderful experience which I've been seeing over years, whether I go to Germany, whether I go to China, Italy, anywhere in the world. Of course, not that Indian exhibitions are not great. They're wonderful because you've got people, 1.3, 1.4 billion people, those heavy, big, crowded aisles, which you can very easily create because, you have the demand, you have the population, you have to have a market for every industry. But that is something which is close to my heart, and this is something which is close to my fellow EC members. And these are the two topics we're working in the next few months, and we will leave it as a legacy because it's an ongoing process. It cannot end with one presidency or one EC or one association. It's going to be an ongoing process. So we are basically instilling in the minds of our fellow industry men, saying, please work towards these topics so that you are there to stay forever, eternity. Of course, nobody has eternity, but I would say for eternal successful future of the Indian exhibition industry. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam President. Morale building, confidence building, and all our associations have done that. Don't waste a good crisis. And I like what you've picked up, these two things as a tangible, skill development and sustainability. Vincent, quickly, what did we do in Africa during the pandemic? What have we learned?
Yes, thank you, Ravi. What we have learned, I think, from this pandemic, I think we will start to realize the association playing a very important role, especially during the current situation. This is the voice to represent the industry, to raise your concern, your challenge to the relevant government. In Africa, they play a role like the whole federation. Therefore, we conducted this survey from up to all our members. Then we're able to have all the statistics, the different countries, they have a different challenges and reports. And interestingly, that we also find out that through the survey, 100% of the respondents from the survey, that they hopefully the safe MICE or safe business event or safe traveling play a very important role to get the attendees or travelers coming into your event. So in terms of travel, that means the whole entire journey from the airport to your journey to the hotel stay for you to stay, and to the convention or exhibition center. So I think that the whole entire safe journey is important to gain back the confidence level from be it exhibitor or buyers. That's one. And the second is the communication. Communication is important so that we can continue to communicate with the stakeholder, member, and the industry players about the situation. What are the things that we want to raise up? Example, like we also get a case study to get organize a webinar where during that time, Japan, China, and Singapore, they already open, and we invited the few speakers to share their experiences during the show, during the current pandemic situation. So there is a lot of SOP, or right. protocol. So all this kind of thing is become a new norm into our industry. So from there, the Africa also recently also published the first inaugural newsletter that whatever survey report that we gather, and we will publish and we share with the members. So that is part of the way to communicate, continue to engage with our members, and also we want to hear from some of the government representatives. That for first issue we invited Thailand, I think TCEP, M.I.C.E and Taiwan to share about their respective country, what they plan to support the industry player. So back to my experience in Malaysia when I was president of M.I.C.E during March 13, when Malaysia started to impose lockdown, we call Movement Control Order, MCO. Then we quickly to call all the members, selected members, to form a task force, continue meetings, and then form a many different grouping between exhibition organizer, conference organizer, contractor, venue, even though other service providers, so that we're able to track all their problems and we raise our voice to the government. So that is one of the very effective voice to represent the industry, talk to the government. So that is the part, and I hope what we learned from this pandemic in the future, the association, everyone realized that it played a very important role for the industry.
Right. Thanks, Vincent. And our take in Africa of learning was more stress on safety, better communication within the industry and with the government. Guido, what did we do during the pandemic? What did we learn?
Well, we have learned for sure that the more dangerous risk is the risk that you have not assessed carefully. So we understand that also the possibility of a pandemic is real. That is the first lesson we learn. The second one is that the whole exhibition industry, for my understanding, at least the three associations we are representing today, myself, Sonia, and Vincent, reacted in the same way. So trying to support all our members, creating a platform to communicate, even if only digitally, in order not to remain isolated. And then, yes, everybody, I think, understood, and also AYL tried his maximum to create platform that could put in contact the whole supply chain, the whole industry, and not limiting our activity to the industry, but also trying to bring our view to a national level, to the government, to those who had and have still today, to understand the importance, as Sonia stated at the beginning, of the exhibition industry for the economy, and to take a step in these difficult times for us to support the whole industry in order to let it restart with new skills, for sure better skills, with probably different events, but delivering what we have delivered in the last 50 years. I mean, good value for our client and for the economy. That's basically is what happened with AYL in a few words. I am very proud of one particular program that you also, Ravi, knows very well and you worked for, that is the Ambassador program, where we try through our members to create contact not only with the association that works internationally, but particularly with the association and organization and government body at a national level. This, I think, is, as I said, in this peculiar situation, one of the most important activity we need to keep in mind, together with the skilling that Sonia already mentioned, and the sustainability that, in my opinion, is more about our future, if I may say this.
Yeah. Yeah, I fully agree with you. We picked up quite a bit in this pandemic, Guido, and you just mentioned one of them. We took the ambassador program, to the next level, and of course, the secretariat has been really working hard in, again, confidence building, communication, safety norms, SOPs, etc. Like all other associations.
Yes,
I would
sure.
like to mention. I would like to mention. We're talking about three associations, but I would like to have a mention of an association which is not here, but we are all associated with it in one way or the other, and that is UFI. UFI played a phenomenal role from day one. And if Kai, if you're there, and our present president, Anbu, incoming Monica, Michael Duck, we thank you for what you did. You guys took the bull by the horns from day zero, and we learned a lot from what all UFI did. And it's not over. It's not over till it's over. It's going to be a restart again. So thank you, UFI. One point before I finish. The host over here, you mentioned my name and Sonia and all. It's Raghav Khosla, Exhibition Showcase. We thank him for putting all of this together and inviting us for this brilliant full day session. Now, you know what? I'm the moderator, but I'm going to turn to all three of you. 1 minute, if you were the moderator, and wrap up the session. Sonia.
I would only wrap up in the tasks which we have in front of us, and we've been working, picking up from all the other panelists today. What are we going to focus on? Communication, training, safety, quality, and risk analysis and management to create another S specialist. That's all.
Thank you. Vincent.
Thank you, Ravi. I think we will continue to drive because we are almost there to start to see the light in the middle of the tunnel. The whole world that already run the vaccination program, and physical event is still a must. And we should encourage strong cooperation. Like my tagline, we say, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Thank you. Pass back to you, Ravi.
Right, thank you, Vincent. Guido?
Yes, sure. I do agree. We are not at the end of this unfortunate situation, but a lot of light is coming from the end of the tunnel, because here in Europe, at least, we started to work with the end of the summer in several countries, and situation is improving. I do agree with all. Sonia and Vincent already said so. I have not too much to add. If I can just be specific on one point I didn't touch too much before, is sustainability. I sincerely think that for our industry, a big challenge, if everything goes well, if we reopen the exhibition as we all expect, in the same way we were used to have exhibition before the 2020, I'm sure sustainability will need to be our main focus. We will need to look very carefully to the possibility to reduce the impact that the exhibition has on the environment. And coming to what you stated about UFI, Ravi, I think the net zero carbon emission, the program that UFI and other associations are trying to develop are the ones we need to focus on in the future.
Right. Well, thank you very much, Madam President, my Madam President, my Mr. President Vincent, my Mr. Chairman Guido. Thank you, all three of you. I'm really honored to have, I won't even use the word moderate this session, but have a chat with all three of you, and to all our audience, our attendees. If you have any questions specifically for any of these three wonderful people over here, please feel free, either through us or directly to them, answer your queries. Thank you very much, everyone. And Raghav, once again, thank you for putting all of this together. And enjoy the rest of the afternoon. There are some great sessions going on. And have a great day and remain safe. And I keep have to show my mask. Where is it? It's right here. Stay safe. And God bless. Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you.
Black and white.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.